Prime Field.
Sarah Strong is only 644 points away from 2,000. That sounds close. Until you realize that if she wants to reach 2,000 as fast as Paige Bueckers did, Strong basically has to transform into a 27-point-per-game team scorer almost overnight. Paige reached 2,000 in career game 102. Strong has already played 78. So is Paige's record chase already over and before Sarah Strong's junior season even begins? Or are we underestimating just how much Strong scoring could explode in year 3? Before we talk projections, understand just how ridiculous Paige Bueckers' record actually is. On January 19th, 2025, Paige became the fastest player in UConn women's basketball history to reach 2,000 career points. She did it in her 102nd game, beating Maya Moore's previous program benchmark of 108 games. And that is important because Sarah Strong is already entering year 3 with a monster head start. Strong has 1,356 career points through 78 games. She scored 657 as a freshman. Then she jumped to 699 as a sophomore. She even reached 1,000 career points in just 59 games, making her the 3rd fastest UConn player ever to that milestone. So when you hear those numbers, your instinct is probably, okay, she's coming for Paige. But this is where the math gets nasty. Strong has only 24 games left before reaching career game 102. She needs 644 points. Divide 644 by 24, 26.83 points per game. Not 20, not 22. Nearly 27 a night for 24 straight games. And suddenly this record chase looks completely different. Strong averaged 18.4 points per game last season. And she wasn't doing it inefficiently. She shot 58.2% from the field, 40.4% from 3, and 83.3% from the free throw line. That is absurd efficiency. She also averaged only 27.3 minutes per game. So theoretically, yes, there is room for more scoring, but here's the problem. To match Paige's pace, Strong would have to go from 18.4 points per game to 26.8. That's an increase of roughly 8.4 points every single night, about a 46% jump in scoring production. And this isn't just about Strong being capable of scoring 27. She absolutely could have individual games where she drops 27, 30, maybe even more. The question is whether UConn would redesign the entire offense, so Sarah Strong has to score at that level consistently. Because last season, Strong wasn't merely a scorer. She had 146 assists, 130 steals, and 62 blocks. She led UConn in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals while finishing second in assists. That versatility is exactly what makes her special. Turning her into a player whose nightly mission is get 27 points might actually make UConn less dangerous. And that's where this debate gets interesting. Now I can already hear the Strong believers. Hold on, the roster changed. And that is fair. UConn's current 2026-27 roster no longer includes established scorers Azafut or Sarah Williams. The returning group around Strong includes players such as KK Arnold, Blanca Quinones, Kaylee Heckel, Ali Zabel, Ashlyn Shade, and others. That means more possessions could naturally flow through Sarah, more touches, more shot attempts, more late clock possessions, more free throws. And remember, she produced those 18.4 points in only 27.3 minutes per game. So imagine her minutes climbing closer to 31 or 32. Imagine UConn needing her to take 3 or 4 additional shots every night. Imagine the offense treating Strong not as one weapon among several, but as the clear center of gravity. Suddenly, going from 18 to maybe 21 or 22 per game doesn't sound crazy. And that number matters because Paige isn't the only legend sitting in front of her. Here's where the conversation gets much more realistic. Paige, 102 games. Maya Moore, 108 games. Kerry Bascom, 113 games. Breanna Stewart, 117 games. Strong has 30 games remaining before career, game 108. She needs 644 points. To reach 2,000 by the same game Maya Moore did, Strong would need to average about 21.5 points per game over those 30 games. Now that is a debate, because 21.5 is still a jump from 18.4, but it is not 27. We're talking about roughly 3 more points per game, 1 extra 3. A few more free throws, maybe increased minutes, maybe higher usage because of a roster turnover. That is difficult, but I would not call it impossible. And this might become the real chase by December. Maybe Paige's record is effectively safe. But if Strong starts the season averaging 22 or 23, then suddenly every game matters because Maya Moore's 108-game benchmark is absolutely in play. Here's the craziest part. Sarah Strong doesn't actually have to improve as a scorer to make history. If she simply scores at last year's exact displayed average of 18.4 points per game, she needs about 35 more games to score the remaining 644 points. That would put her around career game 113 or 114, and career game 113 is Kerry Bascom territory. So even without chasing Paige, even without matching Maya, Strong could still land directly in one of the fastest 2,000 0-point trajectories in UConn history. That is the story people are missing. Visual pace ladder animates. Paige, 102. Maya, 108. Bascom, 113. Strong projection, roughly 113 to 114. Stewart's, 117. We are talking about Sarah Strong potentially reaching 2,000 as a junior, while moving at essentially the same historical pace as some of the biggest names UConn has ever produced. And because her sophomore season alone produced 699 points, simply repeating that season would give Strong 2,055 career points by the end of another 38-game campaign. That would push her past Bria Hartley's career to a total of 1,994. Before Strong even reaches the senior season. Think about that. This is where I land on the Paige debate. For Strong to catch game 102, practically everything has to change. Usage, minutes, shot volume, free throw attempts, UConn's offensive hierarchy, and maybe even how Gino Auriemma wants Strong to play. Because Strong's greatest value might actually be that she does everything. She creates, she rebounds, she defends, she gets steals, she blocks shots. Last season she had 130 steals, second most in a single season in UConn history. So there's a legitimate basketball argument that chasing 27 points per game would be the wrong goal. The goal is winning. And sometimes the most dominant version of Sarah Strong might be a 20.8 rebound, 5-assist monster who completely controls the game without needing 25 shots. That might protect Paige's record. Not because Strong lacks talent, but because Strong's talent is almost too versatile to require that kind of scoring volume. So here's my prediction. I do not think Sarah Strong catches Paige Bueckers' 102-game record. 26.8 per game across the next 24 games is simply too massive a jump from where she was last season. But Maya Moore? That is where I'm watching. If Strong opens her junior season around 21 to 22 points per game, the 108-game mark could become a real storyline. And if she stays closer to 18 or 19, then we could be staring at something almost perfectly poetic. Strong arriving around game 113 or 114, right beside Kerry Bascom's historical pace. And either way, the larger point doesn't change. Strong enters year 3 with 1,356 points, needing only 644 for 2,000. We might spend the season arguing about whether she can catch Paige, while missing the fact that a junior is already entering the same statistical neighborhood as Paige Bueckers, Maya Moore, Kerry Bascom, and Breanna Stewart. That is insane company. So I want your prediction. Where does Sarah Strong reach 2,000? Before game 108, catching Maya Moore's pace. Around game 113, in Kerry Bascom territory. Later than game 117. Or are you taking the nuclear option and saying she somehow makes a run at Paige's 102-game record? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you enjoy UConn debates where we actually put the historical numbers behind the hype, subscribe because this junior season could completely reshape where Sarah Strong belongs in the program's all-time hierarchy. But the question remains, is Paige Bueckers' fastest to 2,000 record already safe? Or is Sarah Strong about to make 26.8 points per game look less impossible than the math says?
Prime Field!